Good morning, everyone. Happy reunion week. I want to give a special happy reunion to the classes of 1970 and 1971. My name is Caitlin Weston. I serve as the coordinator of events and operations in the Office of Alumni Relations. We've had so much fun celebrating with you all this week, and we have another amazing day ready and planned. Just some quick technology notes. Feel free to remain muted and have your video off during the workout just for your own comfort. We are joined today by one of UREC's, that's University Recreation Center's amazing student instructors, Eliza. She is a 2021 senior graduate, so she is about to wrap up her time on campus. And so I'm going to go ahead and throw it over to her now to begin our workout. Eliza, whenever you're ready.
Cool. Thank you for the intro. Yeah, my name's Eliza. We're going to be doing a 50-ish minute Pilates class today. Everything we're going to be doing is body weight only, which means you don't need any equipment. It's all just going to be using your own body weight. I'll offer modifications for everything. So just do whatever is going to feel most comfortable for you. Modify it however you need to, and just make yourself comfortable. If you have a mat, you can go ahead and roll it out and get ready. I'm going to be playing music in the background. If you can't hear it, you can also feel free to play your own music, whatever you want, whatever's going to feel best. But we're going to go ahead and get started. And if at any point you can't hear me, just let me know, and I'll try to speak up a little bit more. Let me see if I can get the music going. Maybe. All right. We're going to start by warming up and centering our breath. So if you want to bring it to a seated position, we're going to start here. If it feels comfortable, you can close your eyes. If not, no worries. We're sitting up nice and straight, and you can just start to take some deep breaths here. Breathing in through the nose and back out through the mouth. Just getting comfortable with your own pattern of breath. Breath work is super important in Pilates. So we're just going to make sure we're getting super comfortable here. Sitting up nice and straight, maybe taking a couple shoulder rolls here, starting to loosen those up. If you want to roll out your neck, you can feel free to do that as well. Making sure not to overextend those muscles though. We're just drawing some small circles in the air with the nose. And making sure if you're taking these neck rolls, you switch directions. Just starting to warm up the muscles. And starting to tune into that Pilates breath here. Nice deep breath in through the nose. And back out through the mouth. Feeling the lungs start to expand and contract. If you'd like to, you can feel free to set an intention for our class today during this time. A goal you'd like to focus on. And we're going to take one more deep breath here. Bringing the chin up away from the chest, lifting the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, getting as much air into the lungs as you can. And on your next inhale, we're inhaling the arms up over the head, nice deep breath in. As you exhale, we're bringing the left hand down to the mat, right arm reaches up and over. So we're stretching out that right oblique. Lowering it down to the mat as much as you can, as much as it feels comfortable for you. Inhale, pressing off that bottom hand, coming up to the center. And exhale, we're bringing it down to the other side, stretching out the left oblique. Keeping that gaze shifted right ahead of you. Or if you want to, you can also bring the gaze up to the ceiling. Stretching out the neck just a little bit more. Inhale, press it up. We're going to take this one more time on each side. So when you're ready, you can go ahead, follow your own breath. If you want to go a little bit faster than me, that's fine. If you want to hold it here for an extra breath, that's cool too. Just taking this time to tune into your body, whatever's going to feel best for you. One more breath here. And when you're ready, we're gently pressing it back up to the center one more time. Nice deep breath in here. And then as you exhale, we're bringing the hands down to the mat in front of us. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see what I'm doing. We're coming into a neutral tabletop position here. So if you can check, you want to have a nice straight line between the shoulder and the wrist, the hips and the knees, and then a nice flat back as well. As you inhale, we're bringing it up to cow pose. So the stomach is dropping down towards the mat. We're lifting the gaze up towards the ceiling. Feeling that stretch in the lower back. And exhale, press it into cat pose. Gaze comes to the tops of the legs, and you're shifting the weight forward into the palms. You should feel a little bit of separation between your shoulder blades here, starting to engage the core. And then gently inhale, bring it back up to cow pose. And exhale, press it into cat. And you can start to follow your own breath here. Again, if that is going at a different pace than I am, that's totally fine. Just flowing back and forth here. We're warming up the spine. If you want to, you can also bring your hips down gently from side to side. Start to open them up, stretching them out, doing whatever's going to feel best for you. You can go ahead and take it through one more time in each position. And then when you're ready, we'll gently bring it back down to that neutral tabletop position. If you need to, you can roll out your wrists. I know they can start to get a little bit sore after you've been resting on them for a while. And then as you inhale, we're extending out the right arm and the left leg. So you can keep the toes down on the mat here for a breath, and then gently inhale, lifting the heel up. So we're engaging the glute. Coming into bird dog pose. As you exhale, we're bringing the elbow down towards the knee, crunching that core. If the elbow doesn't quite meet the knee, that's totally fine. As long as you're engaging that core, that's all that matters. Inhale, extend it back out. And exhale down to crunch. And you can go ahead and just take this through 2 more times. Warming up the spine, the glutes, and the core all at once. Taking this at your own pace. And then when you're ready, we're exhaling, bringing it back down to the mat. We're going to repeat that same thing here on the opposite side. So we're inhaling the left arm and the right leg. Feeling free to rest on the toes here for a breath before slowly lifting that foot up, flexing through the heel. And then exhale down to crunch. We're going through the same flow. So you can just start to follow your own breath here, maybe lifting that back leg a little bit higher if you can, really squeezing that glute. Bringing the gaze with you down to the mat as you exhale, and then lifting the gaze up to follow those fingertips as you inhale. Taking this 2 more times. And when you're ready, we're exhaling 1 more time, bringing it back down to the mat. And from here, you can slowly sink it back into the child's pose. So we're bringing the glutes down towards the heels and the forehead down to the mat. Taking a few deep breaths here. If you need to, you can take this time to grab some water, stretch out anything you need to stretch out. For those of you who are new today to Pilates, it's going to be formatted by muscle group. So first we'll be working the core, then the glutes, and then the arms. Just as a reminder, the child's pose is a safety pose. So if at any point you feel uncomfortable with what we're doing, it's too much, you need a break, you can always just sink it back into a child's pose and just hang out there for a couple breaths until you're ready. We're going to start with core. So whenever you're ready, you can go ahead, flip it on over onto your backs. We're going to be doing each of these exercises for 45 seconds, and then we'll have a 15-second break in between each. There's going to be modifications for each. So again, if anything starts to feel uncomfortable, just take it down a notch, do a modification, whatever's going to feel best for you. We're going to start first with penguins. So we're laying it on back. Hopefully you can still see me here. I might need to adjust the camera. We're keeping the feet nice and flat on the mat, knees are bent.
We're lifting the shoulder blades up off the mat, palms are facing the ceiling, and as we breathe, we're moving from side to side, tapping the ankles on each side. So we're working our lower core and our obliques here. We're gonna go ahead and get started in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Taking this at your own pace. I'm gonna adjust the camera real quick so you can see me down on the mat. There, hopefully that's better. All right, taking this at your own pace. We're bringing the gaze up towards the ceiling. Chin is away from the chest. You should have a nice gap there. If you want an extra challenge, you can walk the feet farther apart. So you have to reach a little bit farther. If you need a modification, you can also bring the feet a little bit closer together and bring the shoulder blades back down to the mat. So you're bringing some of the engagement out of the core. We're over halfway through. Keep breathing it out. Inhaling through the nose and exhaling back out through the mouth. Making sure we aren't straining our necks too much here. Keeping it nice and relaxed. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can slowly roll it down to the mat. Awesome job. Taking a couple deep breaths here. We're going to be working the lower core next, so we're going to come into some leg lifts. You can go ahead and extend those legs straight out in front of you. Feeling free to create a triangle with your thumb and your pointer finger and placing it in the small of your back. This can help to stabilize the muscles in the lower back so we aren't putting too much strain on them here. As you exhale, we're lifting the legs up off the mat as high as it feels comfortable for you. Inhale, lower, then back down. And exhale again to lift. So you should feel that squeeze here in the lower core as you're going through this. We're gonna get started in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keeping the upper half of the body down on the mat. And really squeezing through that core. If you want to, you can also rest the heels down on the mat for breath before coming into your next lift. Giving yourself a little bit of a break. If you want that extra challenge, you can keep the heels hovering above the mat the entire time. So you're keeping that constant engagement. Tuning into your breath here. Using your arms to help stabilize you and your back. And we're keeping that gaze up at the ceiling. Good, you guys are doing a great job. Even if I can't see you, I know you're doing a great job. All right, we're over halfway through. Coming into the last 10 seconds. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can lower those legs back down to the mat. Awesome job. Y'all are doing a great job. We have 2 more exercises and then we're going to move on to glutes. These are called dead bugs. So we're bringing those knees up to a 90-degree angle. We're flexing the feet. So the shins are parallel to our mat here. And then we're lifting the arms up straight above us. So as you exhale, we're bringing down opposite leg and opposite arm, straightening that leg out in front of us, and then inhaling to crunch it back up. Kind of an awkward movement, but you'll start to feel it throughout your upper and lower core here as we get started. Taking these at your own pace, as slow or as fast as you want, it's totally up to you. We're gonna go ahead and get started in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Opposite arm and leg, really squeezing your core here. If this feels uncomfortable for whatever reason, if it's putting too much strain on the lower back, you can also feel free to take the hands out of it, place them under the small of your back, and you can bring it to some toe taps, just bringing the toes up and down by themselves. That might help support your lower back a little bit more, if that's feeling uncomfortable for you today. Picking whichever modification is going to feel best for you and for your body. This is your class and your workout. So do whatever is going to make you feel the most comfortable. Following your own breath here, not paying attention to anyone else's movements but your own. You're over halfway done. Keeping that upper half of the body on the mat, the neck and the shoulder blades, the lower back as well. We're coming into the last 10 seconds here. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can slowly roll it up. Stretch anything out if you need it. Now would be a great time to grab some water. We have one more exercise before we move on. And these are going to be roll-ups, so we're going to be working that lower core one more time here. We can extend those legs straight out in front of us like we did for those leg lifts. We're rolling it down, this time bringing it to a full body stretch, so those arms are coming up above the head. You can take a deep breath here if you want to and just stretch it out for a breath before we get started. From here, as you exhale, we're slowly rolling it up, one vertebrae at a time, keeping the arms above the head, bringing it to a 90-degree angle with the body, and then inhale to roll it back down. So this is a really, really slow movement. We're keeping it nice and controlled. You should start to feel it in the lower core. We're getting started here in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Really squeezing that core, using it to lift you up. Trying not to use the momentum from your arms and just your core strength to help get you up. We're keeping the gaze up at the ceiling here. So again, you want to have that distance between the chin and the chest so we're not over using that neck. If this is uncomfortable, again, if there's any strain on the lower back, you can always just bring it to some regular crunches, bringing the feet flat on the mat, the hands behind the head, and just crunching up and down. A much smaller movement, a much smaller range of motion, if that would feel more comfortable. Last core exercise here. Pick whichever one's going to feel best for your body. Following your own breath. You're over halfway done. Keep breathing through it. You guys should be so proud of yourselves. We're almost through our first section of class. You're getting stronger with every breath you take. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can go ahead, roll it onto your backs. Bring those knees into the chest. Give yourself a hug here. Grab some water if you need it. Y'all did an awesome job with that section. You can feel free to roll back and forth on your mat here. Maybe massage out your spine for a breath or two. And when you're ready, you can slowly roll over back into that neutral tabletop we started class with. We're going to be here for a majority of our glute exercises. Just a heads up, like we started class with in the warm-up, if your wrists start to get sensitive or they start to hurt from resting on them too much, you can always just make 2 fists with your hands and rest on those instead of keeping your palms flat on the mat, and that can kind of help take some of the tension out. So just a heads up, if your wrists start to hurt, you can always take that modification. You can also always sink it back into a child's pose. We're going to get started first with some donkey kicks. So we're bringing it again to that neutral tabletop position. We're flexing one foot. We're doing one leg at a time. Doesn't matter which one you start with. We're going to do both. You're kicking it up to a 90-degree angle, feeling that squeeze in the glute, and then inhaling, bringing that knee back down to rest on the mat. So you're taking those at your own pace. The last 10 seconds of this exercise will be a pulse at the top. So we'll hold it here for the last 10 seconds and pulse it up and down and fatigue that muscle a little bit more effectively. If you're not into the pulse, that's fine. You can just continue with those regular reps until we finish. So same thing, 45 seconds on, 15 off. We're gonna get started in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Picking that leg up and bringing it back down. Good. You can also just play around with this, find what's most comfortable to you. As long as you feel that squeeze in the glute, you're doing it right, you're getting a good workout in. So if that's just lifting the leg up a couple inches, that's fine. Pay attention to your body and what it's telling you. Keeping these nice and slow and controlled, engaging through the entire leg. We're squeezing that core, using it to help keep us stable. You want to keep your hips squared down to the mat as best you can. I know it can be a little bit difficult with this exercise, so just do whatever going to feel best for you. Keeping a slight bend in those elbows as we're resting the hands on the mat. All right, we're coming into our first pulse here up at the top in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Holding it here, last 10 seconds of a pulse. Awesome job. Again, if this is uncomfortable, just keep doing those regular reps. We're almost done. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring it down. Good. You can sink it back into a child's pose here for a breath in between sides. We're going to be repeating the exact same exercise on the other side. So you can take a moment here to catch your breath. And then when you're ready, you can slowly make it back into that neutral tabletop position. Again, feeling free to come up onto 2 fists if that would feel more comfortable for you. We're going to start it here with these donkey kicks on whichever leg you did not just do. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Kicking that leg up, bringing it back down. Good. Really flexing through that foot so you're engaged throughout your calf muscle and throughout your hamstring. Keeping that gaze shifted at the top of your mat. Making sure we're not letting that head hang. I know we're starting to get a little bit tired here, but we don't want to let that head hang because it'll overstretch the neck muscle, and we definitely don't want that. Good, we're over halfway through. Keep breathing it out, exhaling as you kick that leg up, inhaling to bring it back down to the mat. Adjusting this however you need to. Awesome job. We're going to pulse it up here at the top in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it here. Again, if that's not comfortable, don't worry about it. Last 10 seconds here in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. You can lower that leg down. Feel free to bring it into another child's pose here. If it would feel more comfortable, you can bring your knees out to the outer edges of the mat in a diagonal and bring it to a wide-legged child's pose. That can really help open up your hips a little bit more. We're just taking one more deep breath here. Again, grabbing some water if you need it. All right, whenever you're ready, we're bringing it back to that neutral tabletop. We have one more exercise we're going to do in this position, and then we're going to turn it over. So again, if your wrists are starting to hurt, just modify as much as you need to. We won't be here that much longer. Our next exercise is just going to be some up and downs. So it's very similar to the donkey kicks. We're just working a different muscle. So instead of keeping that knee bent, we're just extending that leg straight out behind us like we did for those bird dogs during the warm-up. As you exhale, we're just lifting that leg up and lowering it back down to the mat. So this is just going to work a different part of our lower glute. Same thing, we're going to do 10-second pulse here at the top if it's comfortable for you. Another option for that pulse, if you're not into it, is just to hold it in a static hold here at the top. So you're still working that muscle, it's just not as intense. So again, choosing whatever's going to feel best for you. We're going to get started here in 4, 3, 2, and 1. So we're coming back to that leg that we started those donkey kicks with. Keeping that foot flexed, only lifting it up as much as it feels comfortable for you. So if you lift it up a couple inches and start to feel that squeeze in your glute, that's good. It means you're still working hard. Finding your own boundaries and your own limits. but still pushing yourself. Keeping that core engaged. Pulling the belly button in towards the spine. Good, we're over halfway through. Couple more deep breaths here. Tuning into that breath. I know it sounds kind of silly, but don't forget to breathe. It can be easy to forget that when you're working out. So you want to take a nice deep breath in through the nose, back out through the mouth. We're going to pulse it out here at the top in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Again, feel free just to hold it here at the top if that's more comfortable. You can also just bring it down to rest those toes on the mat. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring that knee down. Good. Sink it back, child's pose. Taking a nice deep breath here in between sides. Stretching it out. Grab some water if you need it. Giving yourself a break. Okay, go ahead, take one more deep breath here wherever you are. And we're inhaling, bringing it back up to that neutral tabletop. Last time in this position, again, roll those wrists out if you need to. I know they're probably starting to get sore. We're almost done. Same thing, we're just doing that other leg. So whichever leg you did not just work, go ahead, extend it out. Flexing that foot. We're gonna get started in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, exhale, pick it up. Inhale, bring it back down. Super gentle movement, slow and controlled. Really just tuning into your breath, into your body. Your body will tell you when to go and when to stop. Your body will tell you what feels good and what doesn't. So just listen to your body and you'll be good to go. Starting to feel that burn in the glute. Keeping those hips square to the mat. 2 more exercises and then we're done with glutes. So you're over halfway there. You should be so proud of yourself. You're killing this class. We're gonna pulse it up here at the top in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold it here. Again, static hold either at the top or resting down on the bottom. Good. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly lower that knee down. You can take another child's pose here. Stretch anything out that needs to be stretched. Grab some water. If you set an intention at the beginning of class, maybe take this time to remind yourself of it. We're over halfway done with our whole workout. So you guys are doing a great job. We're gonna move on to working the outside of our glutes and our hip flexors. So we're gonna be on our side for this one, giving those rests a little bit of a break, thankfully. You can go ahead and roll it down, resting your head in your hands. I like this one because it makes me feel like I'm laying down in bed or something. All right, we're bringing those knees out straight in front of us. So your body's at a nice 90-degree angle. Then your legs are down, resting at the bottom. So we're working the side muscle here throughout our hip flexor and our glute. As you inhale, you're lifting that top leg up. You should feel a squeeze here in the side, and then exhale to bring it down. So your feet are staying together at the bottom. You're just lifting your knees apart. So you'll start to feel that squeeze. Might be a little bit of an awkward movement at first, but your body will get used to it quickly. Same thing, 45 seconds on, 15 off. We won't do a pulse for this one because I know hip flexors can be a lot more sensitive than your hamstrings and your larger muscles throughout your glute. All right, we're getting started here in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, just lifting that knee up. Same thing as those donkey kicks. It can just be a couple inches as long as you're feeling that pinch and that squeeze in the muscle. That's all that matters. So just paying attention to your body, whatever's gonna feel best for you. Feeling free to bring that top hand either down on the mat to help keep you stabilized. You can also bring it to your hip to keep those lungs nice and open. Bring in as much air as you can. We're still keeping those deep breaths going here. If you want to, you can also just bring your head down to rest on the mat. If that would be more comfortable, as long as you have a nice straight line throughout your spine, that is all that matters. So you can make yourself comfortable here. We're taking these at our own pace, following your own breath pattern. So we're tuning back into that in case you lost it. Inhale to lift up, exhale to bring it down. We're over halfway through. Small movement, but it does start to burn pretty fast. I know my legs are already starting to hurt. Last 10 seconds here. In for 3, 2, and 1. Good, you can go ahead and bring those knees down. We're gonna flip it over to the other side. So whichever leg was just on the bottom, we're gonna be working up on the top. So you can take a couple breaths just to reposition yourself, get comfortable, maybe noticing any changes here. Sometimes one side of the body can be more flexible or more strong than the other side. So just taking note of how your body's feeling right now and using any modifications you might need. Again, we're bringing those knees straight out in front of us towards your computer, and then feet are in line with the edge of your mat. So we're keeping those feet glued together, lifting that top leg up, getting started in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, super slight movement, keeping that gaze shifted straight ahead of you. Again, you can feel free to rest your head either in your hand or just lay down flat on the mat. But wherever you are, you want to keep your head facing forward so we can keep that alignment throughout our neck and our spine. Awesome job. One more exercise after this, and then we are done with glutes. We'll have an arm section and then we'll cool it down. So we're 2/3 of the way through class. Awesome job. Last 10 seconds here. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead, bring it back down. You can roll it over onto your backs. Again, grab some water if you need it. You can stretch it out like we did in that core section, bring the knees into the chest and roll back and forth. Just to stretch out those legs. We work those hip flexors pretty hard. So you can also pull your knees apart a little bit wider until you feel that stretch in hip flexor. Taking a couple deep breaths just to regain that Pilates breath in case you lost it for a second. And then when you're ready, we're placing those feet flat on the mat, nice bend in those knees, coming into our last exercise for our glute section, which is going to be a glute bridge. So we're placing the hands flat on the mat, palms are facing down towards the floor. We're pressing the weight into the heels and lifting those hips up. So you should feel a squeeze here throughout the bottom of the glute as you do this. That's on the exhale, and then on the inhale, we're lowering it back down. Very simple movement here. Again, same as the other exercises, you're just pushing up until you feel that squeeze in the glute, and then you can lower the glutes back down. So challenging yourself here, but also paying attention to your body, nourishing it, giving it whatever it needs. We're gonna get started in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Keeping that gaze up at the ceiling. Again, we're keeping the chin away from the chest. So we're letting that neck relax here. Again, feel free to just lift it a couple inches off the ground and then lower it back down if that's what's gonna feel best for you. We don't want to put too much strain on the shoulders or on the neck, so if that's starting to feel uncomfortable, just take it down a notch, lift it up as far as it's comfortable. You can also feel free to take a breath in between reps and just lower the glutes down to the mat. Hang out here before you start on your next inhale. We're over halfway through. Making sure we're keeping that weight shifted in the heels. We don't want to put too much strain on the muscles in the feet. That takes the engagement out of the glutes. Last 10 seconds here, you guys can do it. You are killing this workout. I know it's starting to hurt, but we are almost done. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can slowly lower it down to the mat. And again, one more time, bring those knees in towards the chest, give them a hug. Congratulate yourself on making it this far. You've done an awesome job so far. We are almost done here. Grab some water if you need it. You can slowly sit it back up. Our last section is going to be working the arms. I believe we have 4 or 5 exercises. We're going to be standing for all of those. So I'm going to adjust my camera real quick before we get started. But again, these are all body weight exercises. So you can feel free to modify it however you need to. Shake it out, get the arms down and take a break if you need to, whatever you got to do. This is going to be our last section, and then we're going to cool it down. So whenever you're ready, you can slowly bring it up to a standing position. Hopefully you guys can still see me okay and hear me okay. But you can go ahead and meet me here. We're bringing the feet about hip width apart. So standing up nice and straight. You can take a couple shoulder rolls back just to get nice and comfortable here. I might need to step back a little bit further. All right, we're gonna get started just with some arm circles. So we're just gently warming up the shoulders, nothing crazy. You can go ahead and meet me here whenever you're ready. Good, starting with big circles first. You can take all the engagement out of the arms here. So we're keeping it super loosey-goosey, just bringing it to some arm circles. Getting that range of motion in, getting comfortable here. Good, and we can go ahead, switch directions, moving it backwards. Still continuing to breathe here, in through the nose, back out through the mouth. All right, and then when you're ready, we're moving it forward again, this time bringing it to smaller circles. So we're gradually bringing some more engagement into the arms here, squeezing through the biceps, holding it nice and straight, parallel to the floor. Feeling the shoulder blades come together in the back as you do this. I know it might not seem like you can get a good workout without any weights, but this will get you tired pretty quickly. I know I'm already starting to get tired here. Bringing those circles a little bit tighter. We're going to move backwards in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Moving it backwards. We're keeping those circles small and tight. Starting to feel it in your shoulders and throughout the biceps as well. So you're going to have full arm engagement. Fingers are out nice and straight. We're keeping the wrists nice and firm. Got a couple more here. In 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can go ahead and drop it down. We're going to take a quick breather here. Shake those arms out if you need to. Maybe take a couple shoulder rolls. Regain your breath. All right, we're going to continue working on the shoulders and the biceps. We're going to add those chest muscles in here with the next movement. Very similar to what we just did. We're just making half circles. So we're starting up here. Arms are a little bit in front of you at a diagonal, and the palms are facing down towards the floor. So we're making a C curve movement, engaging the biceps, and then ending with the palms facing up towards the ceiling. So hopefully you can see me from this far away, but we're basically making a big C curve with the arms, keeping those arms nice and engaged. Getting started if you haven't already, in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, so bigger range of movement here, starting with those arms out in front of you, bringing them behind as you're kind of scooping the air, and then we're ending with the hands back out in front of you. Feeling free to modify this if you need to, if that range of motion is too big. I know a lot of people have sensitive shoulders, this might not feel great. You can modify it if you just want to do a smaller movement here, whatever is going to feel best for you. We're keeping those arms engaged, Still bringing those shoulder blades together in the back. Keeping yourself firm in your stance. I know it might not seem like you should have a full body engagement here during an arm exercise, but it is important to keep that core engaged and keep those legs planted and engaged wherever you are. All right, last 10 seconds here. And 4, 3, 2, we're gonna bring those arms out straight like we started the arm section with. And 1, go ahead, bring those arms out straight. Palms are flipping up to face the ceiling, so we're working those shoulders. We're just gonna start to pulse it out here. Good, starting to feel that burn. We're engaging throughout the whole arm, so your biceps, your forearms, your wrists, we're keeping them all engaged. Shoulder blades come together in the back. Small little pulses, picking that pace up if you can. Nice deep breaths. We're lifting the crown of the head up towards the ceiling, so your chin is parallel with the mat. Good, 10 more seconds. Hopefully you're starting to feel the burn here. I know I am, especially throughout those shoulders. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. You can lower those arms down. Take a couple shoulder rolls again here. You can shake it out. Again, maybe roll out those wrists if you need to. Really paying attention to your body here. Awesome job. We're going to be working the chest a little bit more next. So if you need to, you can totally take a break, grab some water, whatever you got to do, shake it out. I know we're all starting to get tired here. Whenever you're ready, we're bringing it back to that stance, feet are hip width apart. We're bringing those arms out into what I call goalpost arms, but you're bringing the elbows to a 90-degree angle. Again, wrists are engaged, fingers are nice and straight. Shoulder blades are coming together in the back. And then as you exhale, we're bringing the hands and the elbows together to meet in the front. So if you can see me from the side, we're still keeping that 90-degree angle. Doing your best to bring both the hands and the elbows together, not just one or the other, so you can get as much engagement as possible. You should start to feel the squeeze here through those front chest muscles. All right, we're gonna get started here in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, again, taking these at your own pace. I know it's a wider range of movement, so if it's uncomfortable to bring the hands and the elbows fully together in the front, that is totally fine. Just go as far as you can, as long as you're feeling that squeeze throughout the chest muscles. You are getting stronger and you're working your body, and that's all that matters. So doing whatever is going to feel best for you. If that looks different from what I'm doing, don't worry about it. If you're near a mirror or if you can see yourself in the computer screen, maybe just checking out your form if you want to turn to the side. Just making sure you're keeping the arms parallel to the floor, keeping those elbows at 90 degrees. Looking into our posture here, you want to have a nice flat back. I know it can be tempting sometimes to kind of arch your back, push your pelvis out. You want to stand up nice and straight if you can. So we're making sure we're putting the engagement into the arms and not into the lower back, because that would not feel good for anyone. All right, we're over halfway through. Keep breathing in 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good, you can drop it down. A couple more shoulder rolls here. We have one more exercise, and then we're done, and then we're gonna start to cool it down. So you guys are almost there. 45 more seconds of work, you can do it. You all are so strong. You should be so proud of yourselves. We're gonna work the shoulders one more time. Okay, so we're gonna be in the same position we were for the front of that chest press, if that makes sense. So we're bringing the arms out straight in front of us, hands and elbows both glued together. I'm gonna turn to the side again. So we're at that same 90-degree angle. The top of the arm is parallel to the floor, and then from the elbow down to the tips of the fingers are perpendicular to the floor. As you exhale, we're lifting the fingers up just a little bit. We still have a 45-degree angle in those elbows, so we're not extending them straight out. And inhale, bring it back down. So this is a super small movement here, but you will start to feel it working those shoulders pretty quickly. All right, last 45 seconds of work. We're gonna get started in 4, 3, 2, and 1. So again, if you want to turn to the side to look at your form, you're more than welcome to. Making sure you're keeping that posture nice and straight through the back. I know it can be really difficult sometimes to bring the hands and the elbows together in your front. So if you need a little bit of separation, that's fine. You can bring a couple inches in between those arms, as long as you're keeping them both nice and straight. So you'll still feel a little bit of a squeeze here at the chest, but we're mostly working the shoulders. Keep breathing it out. You're already over halfway through. Keeping that stance nice and firm. Last exercise, we're cooling it down after this. Keep breathing. In for 3, 2, and 1. Good. You can drop it down, shake out those arms. Take a couple more shoulder rolls for me here. Awesome. We are done with our workout. We're going to start to stretch it out and cool it down. So you made it through. All right. You can feel free to bring it back to those arm circles we started class with, taking all the engagement out of them. If your arms are super tired and you don't want to do this, you can just keep taking some shoulder rolls. We just want to keep those arms moving in some capacity so we can get the lactic acid out of there, making sure we aren't super sore tomorrow. Good, switching directions here. Keeping it nice and loose. Awesome job. We're going to bring it back down to the mat here. So when you're ready, I'm going to have to adjust the camera again, but you can go ahead. We're going to take a nice deep breath in through the nose, bringing those arms up over the head. And as you exhale, we're coming into a forward fold. So we're letting the head come down to hang. We're hinging forward at the hips, giving yourself a bend in those knees. And you can allow yourself to walk those legs out if you want to. You can bring opposite hand to opposite elbow. This is called ragdoll pose. Or just hanging here, stretching out the lower back. Taking a nice deep breath, bringing the heart rate down a little bit. And then when you're ready, we're dropping the hands down to the mat and walking it out into a downward dog. So I'm gonna go ahead and adjust my camera again here so you can see me down on the mat. So we're walking the heels out, pressing the heels down towards the mat, feeling the stretch throughout the hamstrings, bringing the head back between the arms to stretch out the shoulders. If this is uncomfortable, just sink it back into a child's pose. We're going to be here for just one more breath. On your next inhale, we're inhaling that right leg up into three-legged dog. So we're lifting that leg up and then stepping it to the outside of that right hand. So we're coming into lizard pose. This is going to stretch out our hip flexors. So if you can, again, check out your form. You want to have a nice straight line between your knee and your ankle. If you want to, you can gently press on the inside of that knee, bringing it out to the side a little bit. That can help deepen out the stretch here. Again, if this is too deep, you can also take some of the engagement out of this front leg and shift it backwards. So if you would rather, you can also straighten out that front leg and just stretch out your hamstring. Whatever's going to feel most comfortable for you. Again, I know hip flexors can be a little bit more sensitive. They're not as flexible of a muscle, so just use this modification if you need to. We're just going to hold it here for one more breath. Making sure we're still keeping that gaze up at the top of the mat here, so we have that alignment throughout our spine and our neck. And then as you exhale, we're walking that foot over to the opposite hand, and we're dropping the knee down with it. So we're sinking it down into what's called pigeon pose. Again, this is another hip flexor stretch, so if it's uncomfortable for you, you can also always take a child's pose. You can also just stay in that lizard pose, which is a little bit less intense. Wherever you are, we're just continuing to breathe here,
Feeling your heart rate come down. If this is a comfortable position for you and you want to deepen it out, you can also drop it down onto your forearms. Nice deep breaths. We're going to take one more deep breath here. And then when you're ready on your next exhale, we're planting the hands back flat on the mat, tucking that back toe under, and then we're pressing it back into that downward dog. Feeling free again to just sink it back into a child's pose if you would rather. We're still walking those feet out, so we're stretching out the hamstrings, those muscles we worked during our glute section. And then from here, we're inhaling the left foot up into three-legged dog, and we're stepping it to the outside of that left hand. So we're coming back to that lizard pose. Again, we want to have a nice straight line here between the knee and the ankle. If that's uncomfortable, again, you can bring it back to that hamstring stretch instead, taking the engagement out of that front leg. So whatever's going to feel best for you. Breathing through it here. And as you exhale, we're walking that foot back over to the opposite hand, sinking it down into pigeon pose again. Feeling free to stay in that lizard pose. You can also bring it back to a child's pose. If you want to deepen this out, you can bring it down to your forearms. One more deep breath here. And then from here, we're bringing this back leg that's straightened out behind us, and we're just bringing it up to meet the front. So we're coming into a seated position. All right, we're gonna come back into those oblique stretches that we started class with. So when you're ready, we're inhaling those arms up over the head. Nice deep breath. Gaze comes up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, we're bringing that left hand down to the mat. Exhale, right arm up and over. Good. So we're stretching those obliques out. We work these muscles pretty hard during our core section. So you want to make sure they're nice and stretched out. Keeping that gaze straight ahead of you. Or again, you can bring it up to the ceiling if you want to stretch out that neck a little bit more. We're going to hold it here for one more breath. When you're ready, pressing off that bottom hand, lifting it up to the front or the top, and then exhaling, bring it down to the other side. We're stretching out the left oblique. Good, one more breath here. And then when you're ready, we're bringing it back up to the top here. Good, and from here you can slowly exhale, bring the hands down. I like to end my classes just with a minute of centered breathing so you can get yourself in a positive mindset for the rest of your day. So if you feel comfortable, you can go ahead and close your eyes. If not, feel free to keep them open. Maybe take a couple shoulder rolls here. Continue to breathe. And just take a moment to thank yourselves for coming today, for working out on a Saturday morning. Not many people would do that, so you should be so proud of yourselves. Thanking your bodies for all that they do for you, not just today, but every day. With every breath you take, you're getting stronger. If you did set an intention at the beginning of class, just taking this time to maybe find ways that you can incorporate that throughout the rest of your day today. And while we're here during this last breath together, just remember that you are always appreciated, you are always loved, and you are always, always more than enough. And again, you should be so proud of yourself the same way I'm so proud of you. All right, one last deep breath, breathing in through the nose. And as you exhale, you can feel free to open those eyes back up if you had them closed. This has been Pilates from whenever we started, 10:05 to 10:55. My name's Eliza. I hope you guys got something out of that. And thank you all so much for coming.
Thank you, Eliza. I know I had a great workout. I'm sure you all did too. We so appreciate you celebrating Reunion Week with us and giving us an awesome start to our Saturday. Happy Reunion Week to you all, and we hope to see you online for the rest of today's events. And have a great day, everyone. Bye-bye.